Good evening. On behalf of our Board of Directors, members, welcome to the 2025 Modeling and Simulation Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It is such a pleasure and rewarding experience to host this tribute to these two outstanding individuals. Here at the beautiful Orange County Convention Center, we have a live audience with family, friends, and colleagues of the inductees. And once again, thanks to the generosity of Orange TV, we are broadcasting live so their relatives, friends, and colleagues across the country can attend and celebrate with all of us. And thanks again to our generous sponsors, Lockheed Martin, UCF-IST, and AVT Simulation, and the rest of our sponsor crew up here on the screen. Let's give them a round of applause. And so before we start the festivities, let's all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you. I'm going to recognize, before we really get into the program, some previous Hall of Fame inductees that we're pleased to have with us here tonight. And I'll start off with Dr. James Blake. We also have Dr. Pamela Boyers. Pam just arrived for Omaha to surprise her friend Elizabeth, so we're so happy you can make it, Pam. And Dr. Carolina Cruz Nera. And last but not least, Ronald Kornreich. At this point, I was going to introduce all the Team Orlando commanders, but thanks to the shutdown, they're not allowed to attend. So we do have some past commanders here, however. Most recently retired, Captain Tim James from the Navy. Captain retired Tim Hill. Captain retired Roto Reuter, and Captain retired Dan Cavelli. And from the Air Force, Colonel retired Robert Epstein. And Robert's one of our new board members. Congratulations, and you will be starting in January, as well as Captain James. So congratulate both of them. And then from the Army, we have Dr. James Blake again. And from the Marines, we have Colonel Walt Yates. And we have several NCS board members, so at the risk of not mentioning somebody, would you all please stand and be recognized? As we celebrate the induction of our 12th class, let's step back and understand the purpose of the Modeling and Simulation Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame was established to recognize the pioneers in our field whose passion, dedication, and perseverance laid the foundations for today's multi-billion-dollar simulation industry. The technology and applications, which in many ways were inspired, developed, or spearheaded by these 42 individuals on the wall over here, soon to be joined by you two, have provided excellent tools and training support to allow our warfighters to encounter almost any type of situation imaginable. After many years, our region is simply known as the epicenter of the world of modeling and simulation. And it's known not because only the warfighter, but for all the other industries we have influenced, is evidenced by the fact of the varied backgrounds of the two inductees we have here tonight. Walt's contributions span many decades in military and industry, and Elizabeth helped to revolutionize the design, development, and production of automobiles. Some of you may remember that she was our keynote speaker at the Florida Simulation Summit. I think it was probably 2017. Here at NCS, a key part of our purpose is to help provide the framework and opportunities to thrive, whether it's infrastructure partnerships with UCF, advocating for our industry and technology advancement, or developing our workforce of the future. We're proud of what we do in all three. Without further delay, it's time to induct two more pioneers into the Modeling and Simulation Hall of Fame, Elizabeth Barron and Walter Chambers. And I'm joined by tonight's Master of Ceremonies, who's my partner in crime at NCS, our Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Neil Finkelstein. Give him a warm welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't get back by popular demand this year, George. That was, let it be said, let it be written. Yeah. So before we begin, obviously, we're always ready in September or October for a storm. We're Floridians. We know all about that. So our thoughts are with that, the folks in the path of this monstrous Melissa storm that's heading up the Atlantic waters. And so we're always ready for the storm. But what we didn't have on the Capital Communication checklist was a government shutdown. So we didn't have that. So a little smaller crowd today, but we're going to soldier on and we're going to keep going because this is an important ceremony and an important part of our modeling, simulation, and training community. So good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here, and welcome to the National Center for Simulation, Modeling, and Simulation Hall of Fame right here at Orange County Convention Center, where we will gather in 5 short weeks for our largest gathering of modeling simulation professionals in the world at our Inter-Service Industry Simulation Education Training Conference, what we call ITSEC. And if you didn't know about ITSEC, we are starting almost our 60th year. This conference was started in 1966, almost 60 years ago. And I mention that because the plaques on the wall will be seen by all those professionals that come to the conference. And some of those colleagues and peers that Walt and Elizabeth know will be at that conference, probably some students too that they mentored along the way. So it's really important as we gather for ITSEC that they all come by and see this incredible wall of fame that we have here. So we're really excited about that. And we're also excited for those that couldn't be here today to watch us on Orange TV, as George mentioned. So we thank Orange TV again for all their professionalism, Mike and his entire team. And let's make some noise for Orange TV for doing this. So I mention this all the time. The NBA Hall of Fame, 200,000 annual visitors. The Baseball Hall of Fame, 325,000 visitors. And the NFL Hall of Fame, 700,000 visitors. But the Orange County Convention Center has 1.7 million visitors every year. That's more than the baseball, the NFL, and the NBA all put together. So I wanted to invite all 1.7 million people, George and I did, here tonight. But Abby, our business operations manager, where's Abby? Is she out there somewhere? She said we didn't have enough ink in the printers to print 1.7 million badges. So you're all here representing that 1.7 million, and we're really excited that you are here, and it's going to be a great evening. So tonight we celebrate 2 visionaries whose groundbreaking contributions have played a role in shaping the discipline of modeling and simulation. These are trailblazers, and together with those folks on the wall here at the Wall of Fame, there are folks that are visionaries. There are folks that have written software code, hardware, but they all modeled and simulated into the Modeling Simulation Hall of Fame. So this wall really depicts their sacrifice and their dedication, and will continue to inspire people for decades, years and decades to come. So our job in our community, given that we have this Hall of Fame, is to continue on their behalf to push the boundaries of building the most innovative training aids, devices, simulators, and simulations, what we call TADS. And we have built in this community the best TADS that the world has ever seen, which continue to save time, money, and lives, not just in defense and homeland security, but in all other sectors. you will find our TADs all over the world training warfighters, underwater, on water, on land, in air, space, and even cyber. And as George mentioned, a lot of these things are transitioning now to all the other sectors. It's becoming ubiquitous. Healthcare, construction, education, hospitality, gaming, transportation, as Elizabeth can tell us, and even the theme parks. If you've been behind the scenes at Disney, just a few miles away, in Epic Universe, you will be just incredibly shocked at what they're doing with simulation, VR, data collection. It's really digital twins. It's really amazing. So by us continuing to honor their legacy, it's just part of the journey that we've seen from the original aviation trainer that was sold in 1929, the Link Trainer. That was 96 years ago. So in 4 short years, we should gather back here and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the first aviation trainer, the Link Trainer. I think that would be fantastic. So this is truly a special night, especially for the inductees whose families and colleagues are here, proud to witness this moment. Tonight, we not just honor their sacrifice and their achievements, but their journeys that have brought them here. The impact they have made as they take their place on the Wall of Fame so that their influence will last for years and decades to come. But like any good cable, Netflix, or Hulu show, we got to thank our sponsors. So before we continue, it's important to acknowledge those that have made this evening's possible, our sponsors. If we can throw them up there, it would be great. If not, they're all in your little brochure there. Each of these organizations plays a crucial role, not just tonight, but in advancing the modeling simulation community year-round. So that's really important. We're a small group. I'm going to take some time here. These folks, it's just not logos that are on the brochure. These folks truly work around the year to support STEM efforts, scholarships, networking events, veterans, wounded warriors. These folks that you have here in the audience and who sponsor these kind of events are working year-round. Sometimes you'll see on a sports show, they'll do a 30-second, 1-minute commercial on how those folks influence their community, whether they're Magic players or what have you. But our folks here have been doing it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years in our community. So we're real grateful to have such a well-organized and a community that still continues to thrive today. So sponsors, your contributions are essential to the work we do here, and because of your gratitude and support, we will continue to celebrate the innovation of leaders that you see on the Wall of Fame. So this is a long list, but George thanked a couple sponsors. I'm thanking them all. So sit back and relax. Aptima, thank you. Janet here? Where's Janet? Janet might not be here. Janet is going to be the new chair of our National Center for Simulation Board of Directors in January. So thank you, Aptima. I see AVT Sim here, of course, Robert, and Kevin is somewhere in the audience, I think. So they put on an incredible event up at AUSA in Washington, D.C. 7 or 10 days ago, George. We were up there, and of course, when the lights come down at AUSA, there's 35,000 people. Even during a government shutdown, there's still 35,000 people up there. And I think the event that they put on had more people in it than any other event that we saw, and there's a lot of events that go on after night. And now, Capital Communications. I want everybody from Capital Communications to stand up. I can't see you, but I'm going to try my best here because of the lights. Stand up, Capital Communications. So we don't do much without Capital. I see you, Cassidy. You can stand up. We don't do much without the help of Capital Communications. They're on public affairs. They run Team Orlando News for Team Orlando here. And just want to thank Mary, Lynn, Cassidy, and Kate, I think, is in the audience. So thank you very much. We can't do this without you, so we certainly appreciate your support. Carly Corporation, I think I saw Amy. Amy will be our vice chair of our board next year, starting in January. So thank you, Carly Corporation. Central Florida Tech Grove, City of Orlando, Design Interactive, I think Coop is here, and Okta, thank you for all you do. Okta did an incredible job at the Navy Ball a few weeks ago, just tremendous, with the support of Dolly and everybody else that I stopped mentioning because I won't get everybody right. Thank you, Design Interactive. Engineering Computer Simulations, thank you. The Governor's Florida Department of Commerce, thank you. Florida Virtual School Foundation. Also, if you don't know, Florida Virtual School Foundation, 290,000 students go to that in Florida. And Lindsay, Chris, Lana, Abby, and a whole STEM team work really hard with Florida Virtual School, and we do weeks of camps for them. So we appreciate, they're one of our biggest supporters at the National Center for Simulation, so thank you. See that, Lana? I mentioned you. I forgot you last time, but I mentioned you. Lockheed Martin, of course, the fourth branch of government. We thank you so much. You know, I joke Lockheed Martin and our big five defense contractors, but Lockheed Martin has 8,000 suppliers in Florida. So when you see those big contracts that they're winning, chances are a lot of companies are benefiting from that too and building just incredible equipment. M3 Technologies, thank you. Mass Virtual, Dolly, I saw Mike. Thank you for being here, one of our largest supporters at the NCS. Maynard Nexon, I didn't see Brian, but I think Maynard Nexon, the National Training and Simulation Association, which puts on ITSEC, thank you. Orlando Economic Partnership, one of our big partners, thank you to Dean and his entire team at Orange County Convention Center. How was the food? How about some noise for the food? Thank you. Orange TV, of course, thank you so much for all you do and all you're about to do with sharing the message of technology. They're starting a little couple shows on technology around Central Florida, so we're really excited about being involved with that. Orange Technical College, I'm almost done. Saab, thank you. I don't think Lou's here today, but one of our biggest supporters. And of course, the University of Central Florida, Janet and everybody. You'll hear from Carolina in a second. And lastly, Virtra, thank you so much. John Gibbons, who couldn't be with us tonight, but he is the chair of our board of directors. So let's take a moment and show appreciation for all those people I just talked about. I really like this view, Dean. You did an excellent job with Lynn and Mary to see this and that at the same time, so that's not in back of us. It really looks good from up here. So thank you, Dean, for all your vision on setting up the stadium this year. Steve Jobs once said, "Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people." As we mark the 12 years George talked about of the Modeling Simulation Hall of Fame, this certainly rings true. The progress of the Hall of Fame we celebrate tonight is the result of countless teams, visionaries, innovators, and supporters working together to push the boundaries of what is possible. As you hear the journeys of our inductees tonight, you'll notice one common thread for sure. Behind each of them stood high-performing teams that helped make their achievements possible. I think they would agree. We are privileged to add two new individuals to the Wall of Fame tonight. Their contributions extend far beyond our region, touching lives across the nation and even around the world. And you are about to hear their stories. To introduce our first inductee of the evening, please welcome Dr. Carolina Cruz-Nera, UCF Institute for Modeling and Simulation Director. I totally screwed that up. I'm doing this again. Just stay right there. To introduce our first inductee of the evening, please welcome Dr. Carolina Cruz-Nera, UCF Institute of Modeling, Simulation, and Training Interim Director, Pegasus Research Institute Executive Director, and National Center for Simulation Board of Directors, who will be inducting Miss Elizabeth Barron.
I vote first. All right. Well, thank you very much to George and Neil and everybody else to organize this fantastic event. Being here tonight, it really fills me with joy. It's far beyond my words can convey. I have the honor of introducing someone who has been a role model to me, has been a colleague that I learned from, and a friend that I cherish for many, many years. We dream when we were young. We're still young, by the way. We dare, and now we're standing on the very future that we imagined on those days. So I really want to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to introduce Elizabeth Barron and present her for the introduction to this prestigious NCS Modeling and Simulation Hall of Fame. It's really a great honor to introduce her. I have known her for more than 25 years, since the early times at Ford Motors, and when I was just wrapping up my PhD dissertation. And at that time, she didn't just introduce me to new technologies. She did not introduce us to new technologies. She actually changed the industry. She pioneered immersive simulation in the automotive industry, laying the foundation for what the world now recognizes as digital twins. Her work did not follow the trends. Her work created trends. It's been a privilege to work with her and call her a friend. I cannot think of a more deserving Hall of Fame inductee. Let me tell you about her. Here it comes. Elizabeth is a transformative force, and she has been recognized globally for bridging the once disparate worlds of modeling and simulation, engineering, design, and human experience. In addition to her work in immersive technology, her visionary leadership has redefined how global teams collaborate, using human-centered design to foster seamless, immersive communication across disciplines. She has consistently harnessed advanced tools and technologies to deliver groundbreaking outcomes, while preserving the core principles of design excellence and engineering integrity. And her work is considered the gold standard for innovation. Elizabeth's creation of the Ford Immersive Vehicle Environment, or affectionately called FIVE, set new standards for the automotive and transportation industries, and she delivered industry-first solutions that not only revolutionized vehicle development at Ford, but also established benchmarks that are now standards across global engineering and manufacturing sectors. Elizabeth sees immersive digital engineering driven by modeling and simulation not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Her work empowers globally connected teams with insight, interaction, and shared experience, delivering on the future she envisioned so many years ago. She's a true architect of the immersive engineering revolution. So with that, we are going to see her new play. So thank you, Erica, for your help on this. So the citation says, in recognition of Elizabeth Barron for her groundbreaking leadership as a pioneer in immersive technology and her transformative contributions to virtual reality applications in automotive engineering and beyond. As Ford Motors Company's first virtual reality technical specialist, she revolutionized vehicle development by creating the Ford Immersive Vehicle Environment, or FIVE, a cutting-edge digital twin platform that enabled engineers and designers to evaluate vehicle designs in highly realistic, immersive settings. Her visionary innovations delivered industry-first solutions that improve quality, reduce product development time, and save millions in non-recurring development costs, while establishing enduring benchmarks now adopted across global engineering and manufacturing sectors. Mrs. Barron's patented manufacturing process technology and multisensory global immersive collaboration platform replace costly physical prototypes, empowering cross-functional teams to make faster, smarter decisions using full-scale virtual models. Her transformational work continues to impact product development in environments across healthcare, education, aerospace, and other industries. Her pioneering experience, design methodology, and holistic immersion approach have humanized engineering for modeling, simulation, and training through narrative and immersive interaction that inspires the next generation of human-centered engineering solutions. So with that, I would like to invite Elizabeth to come up here. So.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm really overwhelmed. It's just such an honor. And I first want to say, before I forget, that I really thank everybody who has served our country and taken the time and given their talents, and some have paid with their life, and it is never lost on me. So thank you for all those who have served our country. So I really had no idea that my life would lead me here. And it's really such an honor to be here at the Hall of Fame. I thank George and Neil and the board and all the people that worked on my behalf, submitted applications, Carolina and Gary, my rock, Dr. Pamela Boyers. Just there's so many people that have helped me with this journey. As Neil pointed out, it's not just one person who comes up here and says, yay. But I do want to specifically call out Carolina Cruz-Niera, who has been a mentor and a friend to me all these years, and definitely a role model. Her tenacity, her ability to just see a vision and then go for that, it's always been inspiring, and I think together we're better than we are apart in a lot of ways, which is so wonderful. And I had a big surprise today because Dr. Pamela Boyers is here. She's the last year's Hall of Fame inductee, and then from 2020 is Dr. Boyers. And I had no idea she would be here, and I have remarks in here for you specifically, Pam, and thanking you for your friendship and your leadership and guidance over the year. You've also been a mentor and friend to me, and you're I think, one of the bravest people I've ever met. And I thank you for the collaborations, and we've known each other, like these two, like for a long time, and it's just been really wonderful. And so I also would like to say a little bit about the other inductee, Walter Chambers. I did not have the pleasure to know Walt, but I researched him and I talked with his lovely wife, and I know that he is more than well deserving of this honor, and his the work that he's done to change modeling and simulation with training and is wonderful, and I just wanted to acknowledge him as well. And so I also, of course, would like to thank my family, my wonderful husband, Gary. He's my rock. He's my biggest fan. He's been so supportive. He's an intelligent and kind man, and he's really encouraged me. He's given me a lot of good ideas. We'll have a lot of good conversations, and I just think that's wonderful to have that kind of dynamic in a relationship, and I greatly appreciate it and love you. And also my kids, Mark, Lorelei, Stephen, and Annalise. They are wonderful. They're just beautiful, beautiful humans. They also are very supportive. They've been so sweet through the years. They've listened to a lot of dinner conversations and innovation sessions around the dinner table, and it's just lovely to think that these 4 people are going out making their way in the world, and hopefully they'll change. They have already changed my life, and it is my proudest accomplishment to be their mom and to have the family that I have. And so, speaking of family, I, as you know, come from a Ford family, and I'm very, very proud to have a long career at Ford. So I had a 30-year career at Ford, and Ford really was my family. And as Neil said, there's lots of people that helped me along the way. And some of these angels were just like sitting on my shoulder. I didn't know who they were or what they would do for me later and what I could do for them later. But my Ford family really was wonderful, and I think that having the ability to work with so many people and to have the freedoms that I had to innovate isn't lost on me, that trust was given to me by the leadership at Ford and by so many others. And it does take, like, all of these collaborators. There's lots of people here, I'm sure, that we've collaborated and shared ideas, and I think that's where this innovation does come from. And so, again, I had no idea I would be up here at this. You would have asked me early in my career, so it's kind of, just it is overwhelming. But I thought about how did I get here? And I think it's really about having an outlook that's more sunny side, about thinking about what's possible, even if it's not conventional. And then a natural curiosity that I had that was really sparked by maybe some disdain for standard procedure. And not that it's always bad, but there are other ways, and modeling and simulation is one of those areas where we can, do things that are, much better, but we also have to get people to see it, and I have to be able to see. So, I think the biggest thing I learned, not the biggest thing, but one is, what did I learn from them? And so I think one of the final thing is I had an appreciation for more voices than I really ever thought I would have at the start of my career, of understanding everybody's contribution and working at Ford and having the skilled trades people, the people that are on the assembly line, the high-level engineers, the senior leadership, the C-suite. They all have something to contribute. And when I opened up my mind to hear what all of these different groups were saying, that's, I think, where the magic happened, and I think that's pretty fantastic. And so my philosophy has been one of technical creativity, trying to think about the technical aspects of things and how to apply technology and modeling and simulation in a creative way, and thinking about how people benefit from that technology, speaking their language. And so how can a digital twin be used, even before it was called a digital twin, to engage people with the same set of data, to simulate with the same set of data, with a disparate amount of people, with a demographic of mindsets that don't speak the same language. So that's been, that was the reason for the Ford Immersive Vehicle Environment, is how do we take all of this data and represent design, engineering, and manufacturing in a cohesive way so people can understand what is being simulated when it is not their normal mindset. So now an artist can understand a scientist. And that is the beauty of modeling and simulation, and that's what I think where the magic does happen. And so going forward, my goal is to honor this award that you've given me, that I'm just still so overwhelmed about, by continuing to do my best to make that magic happen, and realize that it does take a whole team of people, and that many of you here and people watching are making that magic happen every day. So I hope to meet you and collaborate with you in the future. So thank you very much for this honor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carolina, and congratulations again, Elizabeth, and to your family, and to your friends in the room. Gary, congratulations. Next, I invite Robert Abascal, founder of AVT Simulation and National Center for Simulation Board of Directors, member to the stage. Robert will be saying a few words before the induction of the late Walt Chambers.
Thank you all. Okay, I got to read through my notes here. Good evening. It's both a privilege and deeply emotional moment to present the late Walt Chambers for induction to the National Center of Simulation, Modeling and Simulation Hall of Fame. Tonight, we celebrate a life defined by service, innovation, and a lifelong dedication to advancing the field of modeling and simulation. Walt was a man of few words, but of immense impact. A quiet pioneer whose work strengthened our nation's training capabilities and whose character strengthened everyone who knew him. I was fortunate enough to know him, as are many AVT people here, and I'm sure many of you in the audience who did know Walt. I am truly blessed for having known him and worked with him. Cindy. Walt earned his Bachelor's of Science degree, engineering, at Marshall University. He was proud of being from Marshall. He continued his studies to advance a course in physics, optics, solid-state electronics at Ohio State University, UCLA, and Michigan State. Initially, Walt had picked a career of microelectronics research for the Air Force in Ohio. He continued with that job until 1965, when he began testing nuclear weapons for the Navy in Hawaii. Finally, in 1968, Walt decided to change his field from assisting the Navy to helping both the Navy and Army in Orlando, Florida, with training research. And Cindy pointed out that he was honored with the De Flores Award, and that he's honored in the with that distinction at the Naval Simulation Museum in Long Island. Hank Okrasky, who couldn't be here tonight, many of you know Hank, bestowed him with that honor. He did a lot of work from the Navy, and that's when I first met Walt, when I moved back to Florida in Orlando and started my career in simulation. Upon his work with the Navy, he quickly became an innovator in display technology for simulators. Long before digital rendering and modern visual systems defined the training world, Walt was helping to create the early frameworks that made simulation-based training possible. He worked tirelessly to enhance realism for military aircrew and warfighters, developing new methods of optical alignment, display calibration, image fidelity that would evolve into industry standards still in use today. His work directly advanced the effectiveness and safety of Navy training across multiple platforms. After decades of federal service, Walt continued his mission in the private sector with AVT Simulation in Orlando, Florida, a company that became not just his workplace, but a second home. At AVT, Walt served as our senior technical leader and mentor, contributing to countless simulation and training programs for the U.S. Navy, Army, and Air Force. He was instrumental in pushing the boundaries of visual display integration and optical system performance, helping establish AVT's reputation as one of the premier simulation engineering firms in the nation. Those are humbling words, being the founder of that. Just a little story about me meeting Walt, and he was a free agent. I don't know what was going on there. It's like, Walt, come join us, please. It was the early days of AVT simulation. And he was such a rock star, you know, he could pick whatever field he wanted, and he excelled at it. He worked on the toughest problems for the Navy, one of which was the E-2D program way back when, integrating some really challenging problems to create one of the craziest display systems I've ever seen. If any of you know that system, it's 300 degrees field of view, all collimated mirrors and projectors going everywhere. There's pop hatches. He was a mad scientist, but it was good to see. And you know what the shame is? Walt never got to see that system. I wish he did, and I wish I did, but good for the Navy warfighter to have that system, and a little bit of Walt lives on in that system there. His influence went far beyond his technical contributions. He believed deeply in developing people, in teaching young engineers, guiding teams through obstacles, and showing by quite example what professionalism and integrity looked like. Colleagues remember him as patient, meticulous, and humble to his core. He was, as one AVT coworker described it, the person you wanted in the room when it absolutely had to work. I was talking to his son David, if he ever lost his temper, and being his son, he told me that he did it a couple times. He is human after all, so it was enjoying to hear that, because I never saw that in Walt. We at AVT had the privilege of working with Walt since 2007. We have heeded his advice in the most challenging parts of our operations as our chief scientist. Walt included that his main struggle in simulation field was during the 60s and the 70s, when the technology was far less advanced. He had to assess every mistake, understand what the error was, and create a solution. During this time, Walt was working in the Naval Visual Simulation Research Lab, where there were more than failures and successes, I believe that. Although this was a challenging time for Walt in his field of choice, he was more than grateful that the opportunity to be taught at a nitty-gritty level. Advice from Walt: simulators for training are very complex, involving interacting with many different technical disciplines and specialty areas. Initially, you will be good to gain experience in one or two of these areas, but you must learn enough about all of them to understand how you depend on others. They depend on you to have a successful system. Eventually, you may grow into management, but if you want to continue to be technically relevant, you need to be a specialist in some or one of these areas in the technology that you are interested enough to enjoy or enough to know more about than anyone else at work in your field. That epitomized his work ethic, I think. Walt was exceptional, and he was deliberate. After your words, nobody went to school, at least in my day, to become a simulation person. You were multiple disciplined, and you just were attracted to the field because you loved it and you liked it. Walt was that. You heard his background from nuclear stuff and he found display technologies as his field of expertise. So I find that fascinating with our technology, even though it is somewhat nascent in its development. The applications now are just far-reaching, and it's because of the wall of these people here, these pioneers that made that happen. We at AVT were just systems integrators who make all that stuff work, and I say, when that hardware and software and all that magic comes together, you breathe life into Frankenstein and becomes something else. That's kind of the magic of it. So it's not. I think UCF does have technical degrees in simulation, but we all come from different cross fields of discipline to be in this community. I find it fascinating myself. To Walt's family, Cindy, his children, his grandchildren, thank you for sharing him with us. His brilliance, worth ethic, and compassion reflected the love and support he found at home. His life's work helped ensure that those who serve our nation are better trained, better prepared, and safer because of the systems he helped create. If Walt were here tonight, he would surely thank the team around him before he would ever take credit himself. But to those of us who had the privilege of working alongside him, know the truth. His standard of excellence set the bar for everyone else. His work lives on not only in the systems he engineers, but the people and institutions he strengthened through decades of quiet leadership. We'll unveil his plaque now. In recognition of Walter Scott Chambers for his pioneering work in the modeling, simulation, and training industry, Mr. Chambers' innovations in the aviation wide-angle visual system, the A-Waves, and the Virtual Technology Research Simulator, the VTRS, and his patented pilot helmet-mounted CIG computer image generator display. I didn't know he had a patent on that. So he's the one to blame, by the way. And I-coupled area of interest and firefighting and control simulators are foundation to modern simulation frameworks. His leadership spanned 52 years of service with both the Navy and Army and reflects his unwavering commitment to advancing military preparedness through simulation research and development. Walt influence extended internationally through his service on NATO and technical cooperation program committees as an educator at UCF, SUNY Binghamton, and Embry-Riddle University. His leadership and mentorship shaped countless professionals who continue to advance in the MS&T field. His humble leadership, philosophy, and dedication to sharing knowledge left an indelible mark on the modeling, simulation, and training community, ensuring his legacy in innovation and excellence, inspiring future generations of simulation leaders. Cindy and David, would you please come to the stage? Cindy asked me to say some words on behalf of Walt. I'm honored to do that. On behalf of his family, thank you to the National Center for Simulation for this incredible honor. Walt would be humbled to have this name join those who built the foundation of this industry. Though he's no longer with us, his legacy will continue to guide the simulation community that helped shape from the ground up, Tonight, we remember Walt Chambers, a sailor, an engineer, a mentor, and a gentleman whose contributions to become part of the very fabric of military simulation. His integrity, intellect, service exemplify what this Hall of Fame stands for. Thank you for honoring his life, ensuring that his impact on modeling, simulation, and training will never be forgotten. God bless you.
Okay, that was a moving tribute to two people that in many ways are very different, but in many ways are the same. Couldn't have come from more diverse two different backgrounds, but all the traits that it took to get to where they got, they have a lot in common. So Chambers family, thank you for being here. We really appreciate everything Walt did for us in the modeling and simulation industry and for the military. Elizabeth, some of us are driving cars you designed. We really thank you for your contributions. We talk about an NCS really working on dual-use technology between the government and other areas. You guys are great examples of that. So thank you for that. At this point in time, I was supposed to thank all the sponsors, but Neil took care of that for me. But thanks again. And one observation, 42 there and another 2 going up, 44. There are 5 women, of which 4 are living. 1 could not be with us tonight because of a government shutdown, and she is now returned as a government employee. And the other 4 are here. So guys, get on your friends and let's make sure we have better representation next time. Finally, I'd like to express my gratitude again to Orange TV. I think from what I heard, there's probably a lot of people in Michigan watching right now. So we'll stay out of the football talk. But thank you for, again, Orange TV. They do work for us throughout the year. They do a great job, and we really appreciate it. And now we have plenty of time because, sometimes we've had 4 inductees, sometimes 5. This time we have 2, so there's more time to go back down to the Southside Restaurant and socialize and get to know each other. And we'll look forward to seeing you down there. And to our audience out in TV land, thank you for joining us. Oh, and I forgot. I do want to thank